Hello and welcome to the Ferret Business Podcast. I am your host, Yemmy the Ferret, aka Yemmy, and with me today is a Let's Player who plays games from Dark Souls all the way to Life is Strange, sometimes with his wife Nelly. It's Dipio Does. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Yemmy. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, not a problem. All your links will be down in the description below, so make sure you check him out, Twitter and YouTube. Also, the end cards, the end screen on the video will also have his latest video, along with a link to the channel. So make sure you stick around for that. Dipio, how are you doing today?
I am doing pretty good. This year has flown by. I can't believe Christmas is right around the corner, but doing good.
I know. It seems like just yesterday was July 4th. And we were eating barbecue, and now it's past Thanksgiving, and we had all our turkey and cranberry, and now we're moving into the Christmas season.
Yeah, man, we're at the edge of the 2019 cliff.
What do you think about Christmas music being played before Thanksgiving? Is that a big thing to you as it is to me?
More open to it. When I was younger, but now I'm kind of like, yeah, let's wait until I'm good with like the day after Thanksgiving.
Right. Yeah, same here.
But let's hold off. Kind of like the same as Christmas decorations going up on November 1st.
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
I love Christmas, but
yeah. There's a few people who we saw Christmas trees in their windows early in November, and I was like, well, it's a little early, a little bit, just a little bit.
Good for you for having the spirit, but,
right.
But yeah, I like to slow it down a little bit, savor it.
There's only so many times I can listen to the same Christmas songs, just with a different singer, you know. Though the one radio station I listen to when I don't really listen to the radio anymore, but you know when I start my car, it's the one that's on. They do Christmas 24/7, you know, when the Christmas season starts around. So throughout the day, I'd say 5 times when I turn on my car, because I'm at work, I stop at customers' offices and start my car up, and I'll hear sleigh bells probably about 4 out of 5 times I start up my car. It's kind of ridiculous.
That is the downside, that there are a limited number of actual classics. But you know that if you heard an original Christmas song, you probably would turn it off anyway.
Well, yeah, actually, I think it was Neil Diamond tried to make his own all original Christmas songs. And I was at the car dealership and they had it on the TV, and it just was horrible. Like, it was like the most generic lyrics ever, like, hey, we're cooking marshmallows over a fire. It's like, yeah, we've kind of heard that story before.
Yep. I tell you, one of the things that keeps me loving Christmas music is I'm a big fan of Bob Rivers and the Twisted Christmas songs. They're like the comedy spoofs of Christmas songs.
Oh.
And that, because as much as I was a fan of like Weird Al Yankovic, things like that. So every year when you hear walking around in women's underwear instead of walking in a winter wonderland, or chipmunks roasting on an open fire.
I think I've heard those, yeah. That's funny.
As strange as it is, that gets me in the Christmas spirit.
Usually I'll listen to the Twisted Sister Christmas album early on. You know, all the songs are pretty much in the same key, but you know, it's still like a fun time.
There you go.
Yeah, Weird Al Yankovic.
In a happy mood.
Yeah, Weird Al Yankovic was my childhood favorite artist, and always. I mean, I saw him live once. Haven't gotten around to see him again. But what'd you think of his newest album, Mandatory Fun? Did you enjoy it?
I did. I don't think there's honestly been an album of his I didn't enjoy, even when I don't really know the artists. Because that's what I find happens as I get older. I don't keep up with pop music as much. Know the artists he's spoofing, but he makes a great song out of anything.
Sometimes it's unavoidable what song he's spoofing on. Like I love that the one for Radioactive. What was it called?
It's the
Unactive
Dragon song.
Yeah, I think it was Unactive. I love that one. Like Cheeto Dust, you know. It's the best on that one. I love that one. What's your favorite?
And I'll take it. Album, I would have to say, and it's surprising because I hate the actual song. Is what is it? It's the Iggy Azalea song.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I can't think of it as I'm trying to go off the top of my head, but it's about being a handyman.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
great song, and I can't stand the actual song, but his version just gets me every time.
Oh, I love that one, the Foil song, based off of Royals. I always think of Alex Jones when I listen to that song.
It's too laid back for Alex Jones.
Yeah. Well,
But I like how he shifts from foil in food storage and preparation and all the way to mind control and
right.
aliens at the end.
Exactly. Yeah, Weird Al has a good song to get you in the Christmas mood too. He has the Night Santa Went Crazy. I remember watching people's fan made music videos for that one and really loving it. Such a great tune, such a great story to it.
And the
Killing all
fact
the
that
elves.
there's an unedited version, which is basically just things end on a more dour note. There's like two versions of the song.
Oh, is there?
Yeah,
I didn't even
yeah,
know.
and I what the ending difference is. I think there's a little more description. I think I know. In one of them, Santa goes to prison, and
Hmm.
in one of them, Santa is killed in the FBI raid.
Oh, a little bit of a difference there. Well, hey, Dipio, let's talk about the reason behind the name Dipio Does.
Okay. I guess I would have to explain this at some point in the future. So when I first started my channel, I was trying to think of a name, and when I very first built it and uploaded everything, I called it Carbon Copy Gaming. The joke being, I'm one of 9 billion people that does this, so I'm just doing what everybody else does. So it's
Right.
Carbon Copy Gaming. And after a while, I wanted to do something a little more. And Dipio is just a last name, Dipio. So that's where the Dipio part comes in. But the Dipio Does was, I was thinking of another kind of a jokey, and it honestly, it came from Debbie Does Dallas, and I just thought that would be really funny to
Hmm.
have, instead of Debbie Does Dallas, it was Dipio Does whatever game I'd be doing at the time. So Dipio Does Borderlands, Dipio Does Final Fantasy. So
Oh, okay.
it's just a riff on the Debbie Does Dallas title. That's all.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. That's a nice little story there. So, are you concerned about privacy using your real name on Twitter, of course, and part of your real name in the YouTube?
Thought about it, but I figure, I've got such an easy to find name anyway. I work in government service, so like there's a million websites I'm on and things like that.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of got over some of that stuff. I have those fleeting moments, like if I ever got popular, would it be a problem? But I like on Twitter, I kind of had that thing of, if I'm gonna put opinions out there, I'd rather somebody know it was from a real person.
Okay.
I've never been that concerned with it. I haven't big on YouTube by any stretch of the imagination. And so I'm not really inundated with a lot of incoming traffic. So nobody's like really looking for me.
Hmm.
Maybe if I ever got popular, I'd have to rethink that strategy. Although the cat's kind of out of the bag at this point.
Right.
But I've never been too concerned about it. I haven't been, luckily, I haven't been a person that's been, harassed online or anything like that. So, fingers crossed it stays that way, but it's just not been a problem before. So it didn't really even cross my mind.
Well, hey, there's a lot of people out there, and hopefully the trolls don't come around. So, being on YouTube, you said that you were sort of an introvert. Did that affect your early YouTube videos?
I think it did. Besides just the hurdle of figuring everything out, the first time you do things, it was trying to talk to somebody that wasn't there.
Hmm.
And I think it's gotten better. I have no outside feedback to prove that, but I think it's gotten better. But yeah, trying to have a conversation like with a group of people, which I'm not naturally very good at, but that's kind of what you're doing is your intent is to converse with as large a group of people as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So getting in that mindset took a little while. I think it's pretty evident in my first series or two that I'm struggling to think of what to say and when to talk and when to shut up. That's because I'm not generally, unless put in a position like we're in now. We set up a conversation, we knew we were having it. But if you try to catch me in small talk, oh man, good at it.
So does that also affect your job or not really?
It doesn't affect my job. I kind of have a way of turning it off because I have to be very interactive with people
Yeah, right.
for my job. Generally, with the occasions of like training people, I tend to be able to do small groups and one-on-one mostly, which again, I'm okay with. That my typical introvert thing is the more I do it during the day, the more I need to just like not talk to anybody in the evening.
So, actually, the first series on your channel was Half-Life 2. Why start with Half-Life 2 and not something else more current?
I was kind of just going by the ropes I wanted to do, and I thought I would try myself on a game that I knew pretty well because I played it quite a few times, but I hadn't done it in a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't risk lost or anything like that, which I wouldn't know how to handle yet because I'm still teaching myself editing and recording. Oh, the number of times it took to get the first episode up, I can't even tell you. I was so bad at this.
But were you using Movie Maker?
I was not. I was using. I actually looked. I tried several different things. My first editing software was Lightworks.
Oh, okay.
The free version of Lightworks.
Yeah.
Which was complicated for someone who had no idea what he was doing. And I spent days trying to figure it out. I ended up having my family sent me some like digital copies of old home movies. Project out of editing and putting together all those home movies into projects. That's so I could learn the software.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I taught myself some things. But then I ended up switching Hit Film Express.
Oh, I've heard of that.
If you want to do editing, I love Hit Film Express. If you want a free program that does everything you want it to do, that's been like aces for me. Very tiny special effects things in it, and the interface is pretty easy, and it outputs at full 1080p YouTube video. So it's been a really good software, and I that's one of my favorite parts, figuring things out with that. That's one of the things that I've enjoyed about this process, is teaching myself that little bit of software and skill that I'm close to being what I would call good, but I'm competent. I can put something together. Right. So that's kind of, but all the way back to the point of Half-Life was that just, it was a game that I knew, but that I could kind of re-experience because it had been a while and there was no risk of like getting stuck or lost or, and then trying to figure out, what do I do with this now?
Yeah. So, no PewDiePie situation where you have like 7 episodes in a row of you just being stuck on one thing.
Oh, no. I try to do, cause I look at it from, kind of got me inspired to do, Let's Plays, is a guy by the name of Christopher Odd, who you may or may not know. He's got a pretty decent sized channel. He just hit 400,000 subscribers. Actually friends with Cyberbard.
Oh, okay.
Who interviewed, which I found out, later down the line, talking to Cyberbard on a Let's Play forum or something. But he went through the game pretty thoroughly, but cut out long extraneous bits. Dark Souls is my best example. Dark Souls runs where I'm fighting a really tough boss, you'll just hit a montage in the middle, because otherwise it would have been 3 hours long.
Right.
So, and I know that kind of thing could be frustrating for somebody to watch, or at worst boring, and just lose people. So I try to keep everything at least moving in a forward pace, cut out being too lost. But that's what I learned now that I wasn't confident on doing from my editing in the beginning. So I'm more able to changes now than I was when I first started.
Yeah, it's definitely a good idea to cut out like the strenuous parts where you're just getting beaten down over and over and over again by a boss, and
Yes.
that's why that's one of the reasons why I started doing highlight videos for live streams instead of them just being up in their full entirety, unless it's a let's play, I should say.
Sure.
I'll cut out all those parts where I'm just kind of running around, maybe running to an objective, not doing anything, not saying anything for the most part. I think that helps with the viewer retention. I think it's called, keeping the person interested in the channel and watching the video instead of, having that 3-hour live stream where, for about an hour of it, there's nothing going on.
Yes. Especially, I look at games like Fallout and world games, even Red Dead 2, which I'm playing right now, for fun and loving it. I honestly would have no idea how to put that onto a YouTube channel in an edited form and keep it cohesive. So like I kind of stick to more tightly made, narrative kind of things.
Yeah, a little bit more straightforward.
Much like aimless wandering, even though it's fun to do. I don't think I'd know how to fill those gaps.
Right.
So I kind of leave that to better men than me.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who they stayed away from live streaming or making videos for Red Dead simply because it's such a massive game. It would take so long to get through,
Yeah, I think you'd have to be a full timer. But yeah, I just think I would wander too much. I tend to be that guy, so that would be bad. That'd be bad for everybody involved.
Well, what the thing with Red Dead 2 is like, you get your objective, and they're like, oh yeah, go do this, go talk to that person, and you'll end up like going into the bar and starting like a fight with like 15 dudes in there, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, I was supposed to go and talk to that one person 3 steps away. Oops.
Yes. Or, poker? I haven't done that before. And then next thing you know, 2 hours later, you're in the same poker game.
Then you flip the table and shoot the guy in the head, and you're like, I win.
There you go.
One of the things I've been doing on the channel is Borderlands 2. I've played through the game like 15 times now. It's one of my favorite games ever. Are you a big fan of Borderlands 2? I thought you mentioned it earlier.
I have. I have not played it as much as you. You definitely beat me on the fandom front, but I play it with some. I have like a standing game night with a couple of friends that I have.
Okay.
Colorado and Chicago, and we long that game. I'd be interested to see what the next one.
Yeah, they haven't even like said anything about Borderlands 3 really. I mean, and everyone's disappointed at the Game Awards. There was no reveal or anything like that. I'm waiting for it. I'm a huge fan.
Yes.
I like I said, I mean, I own the game on 4 different systems. I've played it on each system at least 5 times. I'm ready for Borderlands 3. Pre-sequel wasn't enough for me. Like pre-sequel's like the Batman Arkham Origins of the series. Like you just kind of put it on the back burner. It's not as fun as the regular games, but it's still a Batman game. It's still a Borderlands game, so I still gotta respect it enough to put on my shelf. But I want a 3. I want a Borderlands 3. I'm sick of not having 3s.
Yes, with the modern tech, they could make such a good-looking game.
Exactly. They did just release the Borderlands 2 VR, which I am interested in buying, but I'm not going to buy it for full price because, like I've said, 4 different systems. That's a lot of money.
And you're talking about basically a whole new system,
pretty much,
just to play that one game. Yeah.
I already have the VR, so it's not like I have to buy the VR for it. But I still would like to get Borderlands 2 in the future on the VR and probably do a run through on the channel because I'm doing a normal playthrough right now. I know the game back and forth, so I can name my my streams appropriately. Like I'm not just guessing what's coming next. I know what's coming next.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I like I think the humor was my favorite part of that game.
Yeah, it definitely pulls it up from a lot of the similar games that were out there.
Like I know everybody made snide jokes, but Claptrap, I thought Claptrap was hilarious.
Yeah, he's a
and
funny
Tiny
dude.
Tina when they brought her in, I thought those were funny, genuinely funny characters. So
Right.
I enjoyed the humor of those games.
Yeah, it's all they're always even the worst of them pre-sequel. It still has some great funny moments, and there's some great characters, some ingenious side quests. Like the one where you simply have to shoot a guy in the face. That's one of my favorite side quests.
I think I've seen that. Yes, where the guy is just begging you to shoot him in the
Right.
head. Yeah.
Not the arm, not the stomach, not the leg, the face.
Face.
So what would you say is your favorite game to play on the channel right now?
Oh, what have I had the most fun with? A tough call because the ones that I found I have liked for such different reasons.
Mm.
I've got to say, even though it will just kick me to death, is I'm a Dark Souls guy, which is funny because I wasn't when I first tried Demon Souls way back in the day.
Uh-huh.
I picked it up, put it down. I don't think I touched it for like 2 more years. It was a long time before I picked it back up and actually got into it. But now I love going through those games and the challenge of those games. But those are, again, experiences I've had. This is I have my buddy that I play with out in Colorado. Is a big supporter of mine, and I let him pick a series, and that was a series he wanted to see because he would never play it himself. So I'm going through that series kind of as a here you go, man. But new ones, geez, I don't think I could pick one. Maze, which the series is wrapping up next week. That game blew me away from because I didn't buy that game. That game came for free with my graphics card when I built my PC, and I was like, okay, whatever. And then I played it, and it's a simplistic game, but to me, it was so funny, and I was laughing all the way through it. It caught me so off guard that I enjoyed the heck out of it. Life is Strange. When I first started, I was a little worried it was going to be too
much of a teen drama,
teeny bopper kind of. Yeah. I was like, I'm not sure about this, but it really sucked me in by about the middle of the second episode. I think I really got sucked into what was going on and what the choices could make and everything. What I'm excited for is doing some new games once I clear this Dark Souls trilogy hurdle. I'm going to try and do a spate of completely new games to me, completely fresh things. And I'm doing that a lot with my side series that I do with Nellie, my wife. We play games that we haven't really played before, and so that's kind of fun, putting that brand new experience out there because there's more to react to.
So there's going to be more Nellie Does, or is this going to be Dipio Does with Nellie?
Dipio Does with Nellie. Yeah, I do have the one series, the Caterpillars. She remembered Caterpillars, which was another little indie find we had, where she said, "Yeah, I'll do it with you, but I want to play." I said, "Okay, fine." So that's the one thing you'll find on my site where Nellie does, not Dipio. Nellie does, and Dipio's just shotgun shotgun for the whole thing. But yeah, cool. I mean, I'm very, very lucky to have a wife that hobbies and likes to join in and participate. So it's kind of fun to have that running as a not just me.
So she was supportive when you said, "I want to go on YouTube and start making videos."
Oh yeah, absolutely. My job is a job. There is no love or passion there whatsoever. It pays the bills. It takes care of my family, and I'm very grateful for it. But I needed something creative for me to do. And huge video game junkie. I have been since the 80s. So now that this thing called Let's Plays existed, which, let me be honest, discover until like 3 or 4 years ago, even though they've been around much longer than that. Because I didn't even know it was a thing that people watch people play video games.
Right.
But when I discovered it was a thing, and then I found somebody like Christopher Odd, who inspired me to be able to do it my own way. Yeah, a PewDiePie or a Jacksepticeye or a Markiplier, a big boisterous kind of personality, which is just not me. Then I was like, oh, I can do this, and I can teach myself a new skill, and I can build something and have like a product to show for it at the end. So it's been really like creatively, because I don't get that in the rest of my working days.
Right. Well, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I kind of do the same thing. You know, YouTube is a way to kind of just forget about work for a little bit, edit a few videos, you know, make fun of it, you know, nice little distraction, I guess you would say.
Yeah, it is. It's just it's fun, and it's fun because you're still playing video games. Mm-hmm. A product, you have something to show for at the end. Look, this is what I did. Versus just sitting and playing and just I have that memory now.
So
which is good. Nothing wrong with that, but like a little record thing. And being a dad now, it's a thing I never thought about. It's kind of a weird some of my thoughts. Mm-hmm. Like those things will be there when I'm gone. So like my kids would have something to go back and see what a moron their dad was.
Are you planning on bringing any of the old games you used to play back in the 80s to the channel through either ROMs or what are they called? I forget what they're called. The ones that are on the computer.
Like emulator kind of things?
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Brain fart.
Most of what I played was so I was a Master System and Genesis kid. Mm. I never had a Nintendo or anything like that. And that's kind of, I think, would be really fun to bring. That I would love to play again. I'd kind of have to gauge it and see what people thought. Because the ones that I really enjoy were the old role-playing games, Shining Force, Phantasy Star,
Randy.
I'm surprised mine haven't done that yet.
Oh, you know how dogs are. They think they hear something, and my dog has the radar ears, so you know he hears something from 3 miles away. He barks, "Come here, bud."
You got no idea, and you're just like, "What is wrong with you?" They're usually pretty good until the garage door opens, and then it's the hounds of hell have been loosed. But I could see myself wanting to do it with such a huge catalog of games that I have. It probably wouldn't be without some kind of demand for it. Mm-hmm. But honestly, they just released the like Sega Genesis collection on the Nintendo Switch. Mm-hmm. Got to get that because I would love to have those games on the go. I would love to be able to play Shining Force on the bus on the way to work. But as far as the channel, I couldn't foresee doing it unless I had kind of some demand for, hey, we want to see some of these retro things because I've just got so many modern games that I got to get through.
Right.
My list is ridiculous. I'll probably die before I get through them all.
Yeah, you know, the collection of games grows, but the age, you know, doesn't. I mean, well, I guess it grows with it, right?
I lost you there for a second. What was the first half of that?
Oh, the collection of games grows, and so does the age with it. You know.
Yes, and I sound like a shill because I'm talking about like my software and stuff. But my brother-in-law, because I built a gaming PC for this hobby. Mm-hmm. I was a console guy before that. Doing that, my brother-in-law, who's a computer whiz, knows way more than I do. Was helping me pick out parts and things like that.
Right.
He introduced me to Humble Bundle.
Oh yeah.
And I'm part of that Humble Bundle monthly thing. Mm-hmm. You want to see your game collection just blow up beyond manageable proportions, join the Humble Bundle.
Right.
Because there's so many. I give away games every month, and I still have more than I can handle.
The last question I have for you today, this is for Dipio Does, interviewing right now. I wanted to ask, what are the plans for the channel in the future? You know, what is the next goal for the Dipio Does YouTube channel?
My main goal is just to try and maintain consistency. Try not to have any unnecessary breaks or downtime. Keep it a place where if people want to come there, there's going to be something new, 5 days a week, which is what I do now. And that's the main goal. Now I have other things I'd like to try. I started tweaking with something. The problem I have with trying some of these new things is they're really labor intensive. Mm-hmm. And I have my job is computer. It's about a 12-hour day commute and the workday. Mm-hmm. And I also have 3 kids. So my time to actually do some of this stuff is really limited. Sunday mornings are kind of my chill, do some recording, do some editing. So I managed to keep a rhythm going there. Mm-hmm. But something I wanted to try, and I started, but I haven't had the time to get further into it, is I wanted to do kind of like those bad lip readings that you would see.
Oh, okay.
But with game cutscenes. Put it up and do some bad lip readings of it.
Yeah.
I think I would enjoy it immensely to do it, and I think it could be good if I do it right. But chopping up all the little pieces and looking for the lines the mouth movements that would make good. That's incredible amount of work.
Yeah.
And I haven't found the time to do that yet.
Right.
Without being a horribly neglective parent. So that one's still on the back burner for right now.
Well, hey, sounds like you got a lot planned, a lot in the future store for the channel. I just want to thank Dipio Does once again for coming on to the podcast, talking with me for a little bit. Like I said, all of his links will be down in the description below, and also in a few minutes in the end cards at the end of the video. Dipio, is there anything else you want to say before we end the podcast?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for, giving me the opportunity to come on and talk with you. It's like I said, I kind of feel fancy. I'm a guest on a podcast.
Right.
Cool. So I appreciate the time, man. I really do.
No, not a problem. But hey, that's it that's all the time we have today with Dipio Does. Remember, links in the description. I am your host, Yemmy the Ferret, and this has been another episode of the Ferret Business Podcast.